Alright guys, slightly different style of filming today. I've got a head-mounted camera. I often use like a chest-mounted one for doing stuff in here, but it doesn't always turn out that good because a lot of the time you're doing stuff below or above, like sort of chest level, and it doesn't really capture that well. So hopefully with the head-mounted one, obviously you can see where I see, so that should be a bit better. Basically today, we're going to be installing these tie rods and rack spacers. Now the main reason is for the rack spacers. Basically we've got inner tie rods, outer tie rods, some new boots, and then like I said, these rack spacers. Now the point of these is to basically give you a little bit more steering angle. It essentially lets the rack, well, yeah, it lets the steering rack travel a bit further in. And yeah, it just basically gives you, I think it's like an extra 10% steering angle compared to stock, which isn't going to make like a massive difference, but Luke's got them on his 350, and I've noticed when I'm following him that it does look like he can get quite a bit more angle than I can. Like it's a noticeable difference. So hopefully it'll be a little improvement. But before we do anything, I think we should probably tidy some of this up because it's getting a little bit messy over there. That's a bit better. So yeah. Now we've got a little bit more room to work with. We've even got a shelf. Amazing. Bit of damage there from when the girl pulled out and smashed into my car in the car park. But yeah, other than that, we're all good. So let's start installing some tie rods. First of all, let's just spray everything in penetrating fluid so that it comes off a bit easier. That's better. You can actually walk underneath now. Right, so I guess first of all we've got to undo this thing. Oh, that's a good start. Good start. Wow, nice, neatly organised stuff. Easy now. Cool. I guess we just pry them back. Let's have a go. I mean, I'm not 100% sure this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, but it seems to be getting out of the way. Right, this fucking rusty ass thing we've got to get off now, and it's got a split pin through it. Come on, you little cunt. Fucking hell, that's tight. Make your own jokes. Oh cool, we just snapped the split pin off completely. Sweet. That's actually worked out pretty well. When me and Bold Yoda did the up control arms, there was a split pin through this bolt here on the original up control arm. We just snapped it off, thinking that was just rusty and it wouldn't come out. And then it took us like 2 hours to fucking get the bolt off. I think we ended up just cutting it off, we couldn't get it off. So I was kind of worried that the same thing might happen here. Oh, that suddenly got really tight. Oh, there we go, there we go. So yeah, I was kind of worried that was going to happen here, but this has actually gone pretty smoothly. There we go. It's really hot, but whatever, it's off. Right, we need to get the steering back in the middle because it's too fucking hard to turn because the steering lock's on. Also probably do it with a bigger hammer. Bingo. Bit slack, not what you want. Oh yeah, that's the one. Right, so this is the tool that gets the inner tie rod off basically. You put one of those round bits in there, which I got onto the end earlier, so I know I've got one that's right size. And you put that over the end and you can get a socket onto there and turn it. But, I say socket, I mean ratchet. But obviously I can't do that with that in the way, because this won't fit over there. So, yeah, I might just angle grind it off. Well, I fucking hope these new ones fit. Right, we've got a bit of a problem. I angle grinded the old one off as you saw, and then I can get that on there, you can get that over there, but you can't get it like all the way home so it actually seats on the little piece, because this gets in the way. And I've turned the wheel as far as I can, tried compressing the suspension with a transmission jack. I have to start taking some of these other control arms off so that I can move this around a bit more and just get it out of the way. I also just thought, I'm probably going to need to grind this lock stop back a bit, because it's alright having the steering rack going in and out further, but it's still going to hit this lock stop, like when you turn the wheel. I don't know if you can see, but that hits that. So like that's what you feel when you're hitting the lock stops. I always assumed it was something actually in the rack that stops, but it seems like it's here, unless that's just like a sort of backup and you don't actually hit that, I don't know. So yeah, I'm just going to take this off, swing this down, drop the anti-roll bar link off as well, and then see if I can sort of manoeuvre this around a bit easier once that's off. Fucking hell. Right, that's got to be enough. It's got to be enough room. Where's my thing? Oh, I think just about. It's better than it was anyway. Try around. Oh, that's tight as fuck. Cool. Oh shit. I think that's done it. Ah, there we go. If If only I had a proper tool for this instead of trying to do it with my hands. Fucking idiot. It's just so long and unwieldy, you know? That's what she said. There we go. It's out. Surprised how clean that looks, but it's because it's had a boot over it. On the 86, we didn't put the boots back on when we put the angle kit on, so it's kind of awkward, you have to cut them a bit. And we were like, yeah, it'll be fine. A load of other people who've done it said it was fine. But now the steering rack and the tie rods look haggard as fuck, so kind of wish we had done it, which is why I've got some boots for these ones. It's got that new tie rod smell, you know? One of these, and the rack spacer. Which goes on this end. Oh, it's just space when it comes through it off. Cool. Why? There we go. Just realised we need to tighten it first, because they do actually provide some torque specs, which is nice. I wish every aftermarket bulk came with torque specs, but most of them don't. These ones, 8 to 10 kilograms per meter, which is not a torque measurement I've ever used. We'll Google the conversion to Newton meters, it'll be fine. Good, that's what I wanted. Cool. I just love picking stuff up off the floor. It's my favourite. Alright, so now that we've got that on, we've got the boot on, we can, if I can get this nut on, we can start putting the tie rod on, and I'll measure it up against the old one, so we get pretty much the same, and then go for an alignment in a couple of days. Weird, because the new ones are a lot shorter than the old ones. I don't really get. Cool. I'm not a massive fan of like how compressed that is and the fact that there's grease pouring out of it, but whatever. Alright, so the camera battery died, but basically since then I finished this side off, but then found out that the reason this side is longer, or sorry, the stock one is longer, I was saying like this part here is taller on the stock one compared to the original one, and also doesn't have like a kink in it like this one does. Turns out that's because these new ones are the wrong part. Turns out Driftworks sent me the S15 and S14 tie rods rather than 350Z tie rods. So that's a bit annoying. They're going to give me a full refund and everything, but doesn't mean I've had to get some new parts from somewhere else in the meantime, which turned up today. So now I'm just going to take all this off basically and do it all again with the right parts.
One eternity later.
Now, as we all know, no job would be complete without some tie wraps. So, let's use these. These are actually what came supplied with the boots, so it's not even the wrong tool for the job for once. Alright, so we've got all the new parts in on both sides, the right parts this time. And yeah, the last thing to do is just grind these lock stops down, because like I said earlier, they do catch. Like if I turn this all the way, it's really fucking hard to turn, but if you turn it, you can hear, and you can probably see that it does actually hit there. So we're going to grind that down with a flat disc. Safety first. Be good. Alright, so that's done now. I went a little bit too far because I thought it was still catching. I'll show you, it sounds like that's still hitting it and kind of looks like it from here, but when you go on the other side you can see there's a bit of a gap now, so I guess the sound is just the actual tie rod hitting the rack, or something else somewhere catching that I've not seen, but whatever. We've ground it down enough, so I guess that's pretty much it for the install. I'm going to clean up because I don't want it to end up in a complete mess like it was before, and then yeah, we'll go for a quick drive, see how it is. Obviously the alignment's going to be pretty shit at the moment, and I will get it aligned properly very soon. But it'll do for now. Like I measured it and then took the rack spaces into account, so it should be fairly close to what it should be, but it's probably going to feel a bit shit on the road. So yeah, let's clean up and then go for a spin. Okay, so I've already been to have a little test, see what the new angle is like, and I'll show you a clip of that now. probably can't tell from the video, like, because I just watched some of the video back and it doesn't really look like it's any different to any normal angle, but there's definitely a point that you get to where you can feel like you're getting more angle than stock, and also it almost feels like something's bending or being like overextended. Like you can feel the fact that the tie rods weren't like meant to go that far, if you know what I mean. Like obviously the steering rack and everything is going a little bit further out than it used to. So yeah, it's noticeable. I'd say definitely an improvement, because even if I don't like use the extra angle, it means that you can more comfortably sit at the stock angle, if that makes sense. Like you don't want to be sat on the lock stops really when you're drifting, because then you've got no like wiggle room, you've got no room for error. If you need to make a small correction, even like a bump in the track or something can make you spin out if you're on the lock stops. So if the stock angle was say 45 degrees or something, I've no idea what sort of degrees like the stock angle was, but say that was 45 degrees, you don't want to be at a 45 degree angle. But so now that I've got the rack spacers, and say now it goes to 60 degrees, I don't know, again making the numbers up as I go along, now I can more comfortably sit at around 45, 50 degrees and like not spin out if I need to make a little correction or something, if that makes sense. So yeah, it definitely felt like a noticeable improvement. Like I say, it felt a little bit weird when you did get past the stock angle point. Like you could tell that the steering feel suddenly went a little bit odd, because you are now sort of stretching, but pushing things a bit further than they were designed to go on this car. So yeah, it did feel a little bit weird, but I'm sure I'll get used to that. And like I said, I don't think I'll be sitting on the maximum angle all the time anyway. But yeah, you guys will have to let me know if you like that style of video, like where it's just literally me doing the modifications, like sort of step by step essentially. Or if you prefer it like how I normally do it, where it's just like a sort of quick montage. I figured this way is a bit more like realistic. Like when I did the diff on this, it looked like it just ended up being like a sort of 3-minute montage with music over the top, and it looked like I just did it all like that and knew exactly what I was doing and all that. Whereas in reality, it took several days and it was a bit of a pain in the ass. So I feel like doing it the way that I've done this one is a bit more realistic, but probably also a bit more boring for some people. Like some people don't really want to know the sort of detailed every nut and bolt kind of thing. They just want to see like a little montage and then the end result. So I figure this will probably be a bit of a split on opinions, but let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll try and kind of gauge, like based on how many votes essentially there are for each style, like how I do them in the future. But yeah, that's it for this video. Next video will hopefully be the hydro in the 86, because I've spent the last few days working on that and it's very nearly done now. I've just got to plumb in the reservoir, make up some braided lines, and then it's good to go. So yeah, that'll probably be the next video if I get that done today and tomorrow. And then there's 3 drift days coming up soon. We've got one at Rockingham, which I'll be doing in this, one at Teesside, which I'll be doing in the 86, and then one at Snetterton, which I've never done before. I don't even know if they've done drift days before. I think they have a while ago, but not since I started drifting. So that'll be interesting. That'll be very interesting to see what that's like, but that'll be in the 86. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. So yeah, those to look forward to, and like I say, hopefully the hydro will be the next video. So I will see you there.